correctly with the correct amount.
D20 Radio, where gamers roll.
www.d20radio.com.
Welcome to Me and Steve Talk RPGs, a podcast where me and my friend Steve...
We're playing games this time.
Hey, what's up, folks? Welcome back to Me and Steve, and today we're going to get right back into it. We're going to finish up our Mutants Masterminds actual play, an adventure called M.O.D.O.K Family Reunion. With that, some introductions, and we'll get right into it. Thanks. And by way of character introductions, we have Shane playing Captain America.
I knocked that goofy-looking beekeeper helmet off the guy, and he has a moment of confused surprise before he drops like a bag of potatoes.
We have Jeff playing the Scott Lang version of Ant-Man.
I'm going to run straight at that first robot. Halfway, I'm going to change to tiny size Ant-Man and look for a joint to crawl inside of.
We have Steve G playing Moon Knight.
I don't know what happened here, but we're here to help, I think. Now, if you'll excuse me.
And we have myself as Drax the Destroyer. Captain, duck, and chuck the big robot at the two minion groups. And last but not least, we have Alex as the Game Master.
Because superhero storytelling is about being awesome.
And now, on to our story.
Yeah, so Drax, Moon Knight, and M.O.D.O.K, you all land as close to M.O.D.O.K as you would like to.
Okay.
And he's sort of buzzing around. He's got the exclamation point over his head. And when he sees all of you, he will float over to where you all are. Hello, adventurer. Are you here to pick up a quest?
No.
Thank you. Have a nice day. And he turns around and buzzes the other way.
He is extremely peculiar, Moon Knight.
Yes.
As giant craniums go, he's odd.
And he's just buzzing around looking for people to talk to.
Avengers, how's it look down there?
It's most confusing. Drax is just going to holler at him. Hey, big head man.
He'll buzz over. Hello, adventurers. Are you here seeking a quest?
I got this. Yes, we are. We are looking for adventure and riches and experience.
You gathered your party?
Do you have a monster that we could go slay?
Unfortunately, I am all out of murder quests.
Do you have a rescue mission?
Today's daily is related to fetching things.
Okay. What do we have to fetch?
Have you gathered your party?
Yes.
I'll assume Cap's able to run up at this point.
And Ant-Man, you must
Ant-Man.
gather your party. What are we waiting for, team? Take him down.
This isn't the fight, Cap. He's sending us on the fight. We have to collect something and bring it back to him.
Scanning character levels, and he'll sort of buzz around to all of you and scan each of you with a small green laser grid that comes out of his forehead. And for Cap, it's like level 345, Moon Knight. Level 170, Drax. Level 110, Scott. Level 64.
What?
Dang, got dissed. Good thing to...
Are you sure?
I hope this game level skills.
With your combined levels, you should be able to accomplish this list of tasks. And his chair starts to make an AOL dial-up noise. And it prints off a list of things that he wants you to go and fetch with him. And on this list, you see he's looking for 10 pounds of Wakandan vibranium, the Eye of Agamotto, and one of Spider-Man's web shooters.
We don't have time for this foolishness, man. M.O.D.O.K,
We gotta make time.
surrender or you will be taken down.
Yeah, you don't want those problems.
He looks at you and he says, "This NPC is not worth any substantial amount of experience points and does not drop loot."
Cap's flummoxed. He's not understanding any of this.
Drax is thoroughly confused at this point.
Look, guys, we gotta go collect these 3 things and bring them back to him.
Where do we get these things?
Well, I'm thinking the vibranium, we have to go to the Wakandan embassy or consulate.
How many pounds of vibranium?
He said 10 pounds.
Even Cap knows that is like an incredibly exotic request. Even if we went straight to Wakanda.
Captain.
Hey, Cap, how much does your shield weigh?
You know, that's a good question. I don't know, but it's a out of character. It's vibranium adamantium alloy.
You don't know if he knows the difference.
Surrendering his shield is very anti-Cap, but if it somehow resolves the situation, he might.
Moon Knight takes a bit of fishing line off of his utility belt and hands it to Captain America as a way to, like, here, tie this onto your shield, and if it goes wrong, you can retrieve it.
We're going to put the shield in the vending machine like a quarter.
Yeah, right, like a slug. But so he was. I'll tell you what, M.O.D.O.K, you obviously have some kind of scanner. What do you think of this 10 pounds of vibranium? And he holds the shield up.
He sort of floats over to it. The scanner scans over it and he says, "May I please see that?"
I'll hand it over. Really not feeling good about this, but he'll hand it over.
He puts his little M.O.D.O.K hands on it and he puts it next to his big mouth and he bites on it. He says, "This would suffice for my request."
Okay, well, when we have the other two items, I'll give you that too. And I'll try to get the shield back.
Yeah, he gives it back to you.
He wanted Spider-Man web shooter and the Eye of Agamotto.
Can I fashion a web shooter?
You can give it a shot with the technology check.
Let me use a hero point.
For a hero point, I'll say Spider-Man actually accidentally left one on that Quinjet.
Hey, outstanding.
Okay, so that's two things.
Moon Knight pulls out his big brick of a cell phone and
calls Doctor Strange.
calls up, "Steven, how's it going? It's Mark.
How did you keep getting this number?
Hey, look, I got my ways, but I need a favor. You still have the Eye of Agamotto?"
No, I loaned it. What do you mean, do I still have it?
Look, it's a long story, but I got a M.O.D.O.K here that needs it. Well, I should say we need it in order to... It's probably just... You know what? Where are you at? Let me meet up with you somewhere. I got a Quinjet, and I could meet you somewhere to pick it up. I just need to borrow it for, like, solid 10 minutes.
You want to borrow the Eye of Agamotto and give it to M.O.D.O.K for 10 minutes. Is that what you called me to ask today?
I mean, look, have you had... I've asked for crazier things, to be fair.
Who am I talking to? Is this Mark?
This is... Yeah, it's Mark Spector.
This is one of the other ones.
No, it's Mark, yeah. But it's been a really crazy day, okay? There are a lot of M.O.D.O.Ks here, and one of them requires the Eye of Agamotto, and we're gonna try, and if everything goes wrong, we'll stop him, but, yeah, you know.
If he has the Eye of Agamotto, how do you plan on stopping him?
Haven't gotten that far yet, but...
Just for my amusement.
You know, it's a good question. Well, I'll tell you what. I'm here with Captain America, and he hands the phone to Cap.
And I'm giving the look at Moon Knight, but then I take the phone. I'm like, Steve Rogers here. Steve Rogers here. We do have a rather interesting situation. I think that Mark may have buried the lead by focusing on your Eye of Agamotto and, you know, kind of glossing over the fact that we have a multiple M.O.D.O.K situation we're trying to deal with. And it involves AIM and parallel dimensions and different M.O.D.O.Ks, and it's quite a situation. We're at Coney Island. Is there any chance that you could lend us a few minutes of your time and drop by?
I'm trying to decide if you're Mark putting on a voice or you actually found a way to get drunk.
No, it's crazy. I understand. I relate some, quick story, like a team up that only me and him had. Remember that time we went to, the crossroads so that I could help you get a piece of your cloak back and you didn't want anybody to know about it?
Yeah, I didn't want anybody to know about it, but I'm clearly not on speakerphone, but that's a very big cell phone that Mark has.
Yeah, I kind of whispered that.
Mm.
Like Steve, obviously I don't want you to surrender a powerful artifact to this M.O.D.O.K variant, but we're hoping that just its presence can move things forward.
All right, Cap, go ahead and roll a persuasion check for me. Cap's good at that. I'll give you a +2 for Moon Knight's aiding.
I'm honestly surprised that's a plus.
All right, persuasion. Here we go. Ooh, that's not good. I'll spend a hero point. Or a luck. I'll spend a luck point to reroll.
Right.
Oh. I'll spend a hero point to reroll.
Awesome. That does become a 16 because you rolled underneath a 10, and +2 for Moon Knight is 18, but that's still not enough.
Okay, I'm gonna roll again. Still not enough. 17.
So that's a 17.
Does he still get the +10?
No, because the dice. Oh, you get the best, so the 18 is what you'll get.
All right.
Steve. Where's my Doctor Strange? I don't know if I have him loaded on the table here. I've come to bargain. Doctor Strange is pretty good at bargaining. All right, here we go. I rolled an 18. You are the attacker. You win.
Okay.
So, Doctor Strange sort of lets out a heavy sigh. He's like, okay, all right. Since you're Captain America, I will come down to Coney Island, but this makes us even for that Crossroads thing.
More than fair. Thanks, Steve.
And as you start to hang up the phone, the little red circle appears beside Moon Knight, and he steps through. And he looks at the M.O.D.O.K with the giant exclamation point over his head, and just sighs and shakes his head and looks down.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on here either. This is the...
Yeah, I raised one finger up to Doctor Strange and show it to him.
Scott, good to see you again.
You know, Moon Knight. I'm not sure if you've met Drax, Doctor, but he's a staunch ally. This is about the 4th or 5th M.O.D.O.K variant that we have dealt with today. It appears to be some kind of quest giver. I'm not quite sure what's going on, but to move this forward, seems like combat or defeating it is not the answer. We must satisfy its desires. It wants vibranium, a web shooter, and the Eye of Agamotto.
All right. And you see as Strange appears before the M.O.D.O.K, the exclamation point turns into a question mark above his head. And Strange will lift up the eye and say, "This is not for you to keep, creature." And he'll look at the rest of you like, okay.
Your guess is as good as ours.
He wants the rest of his things, right?
And I'll hand over the shield.
I'll give you the web shooter.
Perfect. M.O.D.O.K with a Q will sort of pick up all those things with a glittering purple telekinetic field. Will bring them all together. And he will sort of rattle and shake and vibrate for a second, and a bag pops out of his chair that he will hand over to Captain America.
Okay, I'll take the bag.
And you see a few things within the bag. The bag, it seems to expand unnaturally large. You reach in, you find your shield, once again. You find the Eye of Agamotto, you find the web shooters, and you find a set of coordinates that looks like it feeds into a M.O.D.O.K chair.
Ah, I hand those coordinates over to M.O.D.O.K. I hand Doctor Strange back his Eye of Agamotto, take my shield, and I don't know, guess give the web shooter back to Ant-Man.
And if you look closely, you see on all those objects, there's a +1 engraved very tiny on somewhere on the object.
Oh, wow, okay.
And M.O.D.O.K will say, "Thank you, brave adventurers. Please return tomorrow to continue your quest."
All right, so it just stays there?
Yeah, it just stays there. It's floating around.
All right, I'm going to radio shield and be like, I need to retrieve basically a M.O.D.O.K, and I need it delivered to, and I give him Hank Pym's coordinates.
Hank Pym does not want this.
Oh, would that not help his? Okay.
No, I mean, he'll take it, but he's not going to be happy receiving a M.O.D.O.K in the mail.
Okay, well, I'm just saying, I don't want it just floating around. I'll call Hank, I guess, and be like, would a M.O.D.O.K help you? Because we have a M.O.D.O.K just kind of floating around. I don't know what to do with.
Well, I might be able to read his quantum energy signature and see if I can match his universe up with him.
All right.
Is he dangerous?
I don't think so.
I
think he'll want to play with you.
Find that answer vague and unconvincing. Yeah, have S.H.I.E.L.D. send him over. I'll take a look at him.
Okay. Roger.
And Doctor Strange will say, "I'm going to go now, okay? You all have fun with this. It's my day off."
Thanks. Wow, everybody's taking days off. All right, thanks for your help.
We're not you, Captain America. We don't live at work.
Nope. Captain America loves to work.
Steven, we still on for golf next Tuesday?
You know what? If you can come to the Dark Dimension next Tuesday, we'll play golf. Moon Knight.
I'll see what I can do.
I believe you will make your way there.
Give Clea and Wong our best.
Yeah, and he'll sort of spin himself out of this ridiculous scene.
Well, team, that was bizarre.
This whole day has been bizarre.
M.O.D.O.K quits shaking and spasming as he finalizes the triangulation. He says, I found it! I found the last brother! My last brother with a C! The mental organism designed only for cloning. It's his fault for all of this.
M.O.D.O.K and cloning does not bode well. Where is this final M.O.D.O.K?
He has a cloning facility. And he puts his fingers up to his temples, far out on the other side of his chair. He says, It's underneath Avengers Mansion. The facility is underneath Avengers Mansion. He kind of looks at all of you.
Like Avengers Mansion in your universe? Where it would be at your universe? Or our Avengers Mansion?
Your Avengers Mansion.
That doesn't make any...
It's deep underground. He sort of holds his hands out. I can get us there. There's a sewer access point nearby. But we'll have to find a manhole big enough for my head.
It's not going to be easy. I point at Moon Knight. Like, you probably have the best knowledge of the city streets. Do you know of any kind of access like that for him?
I know of a way in for him, but, well, it's not pretty. And he explains that it's one of the like drainage tunnels that leads into a waterway that would be the best way to get M.O.D.O.K or M.O.D.O.B into the underground.
Scott, at one time, Hank Pym would use Pym particles to shrink or grow things. Do you have anything like that could temporarily reduce it?
Let me see.
Scott, you think you might be able to modify your shrinking discs to work on M.O.D.O.B?
You're able to reduce his head to a normal size.
I hate that image very much.
Yeah, like a big old chair with a little tiny M.O.D.O.K head in it.
I was picturing a little tiny head, like a normal-sized head, still in the chair with really extra small arms and legs, floating around at eye height.
Ew.
Like a M.O.D.O.K tadpole.
Yeah, M.O.D.O.K is just bizarre. He's always been bizarre. Speaking of that cartoon on Hulu is getting good reviews. So I just don't have Hulu to check it out.
Oh, cool! I'm excited to watch it.
Evidently, it's super funny.
Well, when all else fails, I might be able to make the hole a little bigger.
Yeah, let's.
I can only affect objects. I'm not sure I can affect something living.
Yeah, you can modify it with a technology check.
Technology check? Okay.
Yep. Yeah, you don't think a 13 is going to do it. You don't think it's impossible, but maybe if you spend a luck point or a hero point to reroll, you might be able to succeed on this.
Okay, I'll spend a luck point.
Perfect. Go ahead and reroll. There we go. 19 is going to do it. So, Scott, you start tinkering with the shrinking disc, and you remove that safety feature that Hank put in there, because sometimes when you shrink things and grow things that don't have an Ant-Man containment suit, they go a little nuts. But you take that off, and you think that you'll be able to use it on M.O.D.O.K.
He's always been a cautious Nancy anyway. There's no need for that.
It's not like M.O.D.O.K will go crazy.
I don't know if I can take you back to regular size, M.O.D.O.K, but hey, be careful.
I will be careful, Ant-Man. Thank you for your assistance. You are a hero among heroes. And he'll put his little hand on your shoulder.
With his little sword.
And he'll go down the manhole first if nobody else is going to go down.
I'll go.
Perfect. Just a yada yada a little bit. You all sort of make your way through these sewers down deeper and deeper into the depths of New York City until you come into this sort of glowing blue laboratory section. You see at the far end of the room are two fairly standard looking M.O.D.O.Ks. The one in the center of the room is wearing a white lab coat and is pulling a number of levers and doing a number of things. He's got some vials and syringes. You see some AIM beekeepers walking around tending these big cloning vats. And at the far end of the room, you see what you think is your M.O.D.O.K. chained up in a laser cage. And there are a number of tubes and vials attached to him that seem to be drawing DNA from M.O.D.O.K with a K. And M.O.D.O.K with the C will lift up his goggles and look your way as you all enter his laboratory.
All right, so to be clear, our M.O.D.O.K appears to be here under duress.
Yes. This one with the blue dot appears to be your M.O.D.O.K.
Avengers, as much as I hate to say it, M.O.D.O.K is a victim here and must be rescued.
All right, then.
I'm going to let out a good old-fashioned Avengers Assemble and fling my shield at some beekeepers.
Awesome. Let's go ahead and roll for initiative.
Ooh.
Do I get is this a new scene? Would I get another hero point back?
This is a new scene. I'll go ahead and deal everybody a hero point, and all of your bruises fall off as well.
What is it that I'm always going last?
Yeah, I didn't roll very well either.
Okay, I'm not going last.
Yeah, the M.O.D.O.Ks don't usually roll very well.
So you said there were 2 cloned M.O.D.O.Ks and then M.O.D.O.K, or just what's the setup again? I'm making sure I understand.
Just M.O.D.O.K with a C, some AIM beekeepers, and then M.O.D.O.K with a K.
Okay. And this is underneath our mansion.
Yes. Yep. Add turn. So I'm gonna go in and add everybody's turn real quick. I forgot to tell you guys to click on your tokens, but I can add it in. It's cool. I can add it in manually. Captain America got a 10. Ant-Man got a 6. Moon Knight got a 16. And I think that's everybody. Yeah, we got the Beekeepers, Drax, Moon Knight, M.O.D.O.K with a K, Captain America, Ant-Man, M.O.D.O.K with a 4. Or M.O.D.O.K with a C. The Beekeepers all turn and see all of you entering in. Oh no, the Avengers are here! These 4 are going to come up over here, and they're going to start interacting with a couple of these terminals. These 4 are going to open fire on Moon Knight. Pew, 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 pew. They get a 20 to hit your dodge DC, Moon Knight.
My dodge DC, I believe, is 20. Let me double check. It is, yes.
Okay, so please give me a toughness versus a 20. That's the bruising of days if you want to keep it, Moon Knight.
I'll keep it, yeah.
Alright, so the Beekeepers just open fire with their laser guns, and Moon Knight, you just catch a big volley of fire. I think you were probably surprised by them. This group will shoot at Ant-Man with a 23 to hit your dodge DC, Ant-Man. Okay, so you have an 8 on your dodge. You have an 18 for your dodge DC. Please give me a toughness save, Ant-Man versus DC 20. Alright, you're fine. The lasers hit into your armored suit, but they don't do any damage. And then this group of AIM agents starts messing with these tubes, pushing buttons and activating computer terminals and the like. Drax, you're up.
All right. I think Drax is just gonna run out and head for the ones to the right, the lower ones on the map. So like
Awesome.
Here, and draw the knives and jab at a couple of them.
Oh no, wait, I'm just a guy.
So is that a stabbing roll?
That is a stabbing roll. Oh no, they get stabbed real good. 18 is a difference of 9, so you'll take 2 of them out, Drax. What happens?
I think he comes in and whirling around, kind of chops a couple of their rifles in half, knocks one of them over, that kind of thing.
Awesome. Perfect. And then after Drax is Moon Knight.
So I can only do either an action or a move, correct?
Correct. Yep.
So I think in reflex, Moon Knight will then throw out he'll throw out 4 moonrangs, 1 to each of these gangs.
Awesome. Sounds great to me. So that becomes a 16 to hit, which is still enough to hit the AIM agents. You're on a DC 19, so the first group fails by 1, the second group fails by 1, third group fails by 1, fourth group fails by 3. So first group loses a member, second group loses a member, third group loses a member, fourth group loses 3 members. What happens, Midnight?
After being riddled with laser fire, he just takes and swings his cape in front of him, and again, as he swings his cape, it sort of flings out these moonrangs that just crack these guys and knock them unconscious.
Love it. And then your daze drops off at the end of the round. All right, M.O.D.O.K. M.O.D.O.K will say, Cap with me! We'll go after M.O.D.O.K. And he rockets over with his thrusters to land next to M.O.D.O.K, and he will wait for Captain America to get over there to help. M.O.D.O.K with a K will sort of druggedly look up to all of you and say, oh no, the Avengers are here now. Ugh. This doesn't concern you. This is an internal squabble with M.O.D.O.K and me.
We're concerned about even the likes of you, M.O.D.O.K. Sit tight. We'll have you out of here.
I know quite well what it's like to argue with yourself.
M.O.D.O.K will sit tight. He can't do anything until something.
Yeah, that's all he's gonna do. Yeah, I unintentionally made a joke. Sit tight. I'm gonna do that inspire again. Will that give? Since M.O.D.O.K is an ally, will he get inspired as well?
He will.
Okay, I'm gonna spend a hero point. I'm gonna say, I believe that if we could stop this one, we'll have put an end to this foolishness and can have Hank sort it all out. Let's give 200%, people. So I'll do that. I'll spend a point to inspire. Everybody will get +4 until my next turn, and then
Awesome.
I'll move as far as I can towards the back, since M.O.D.O.K specifically requested my help.
Yeah, you can get right up there. You can get right up there next to M.O.D.O.K.
That's what I shall do, sir. Let me spend this point. So everybody, you get +4 on all of your D20 rolls, not just attack.
So that will move M.O.D.O.K in initiative to after Cap. So Cap, you land next to M.O.D.O.K, and he looks over at you, he gives you a thumbs up, and he says, "That was an excellent speech, Cap. I'm afraid I have something I have to tell you, though.
Oh, no.
I am not the mental organism designed only for bravery. I'm the mental organism designed only for betrayal!" And he goes in to try and stab you.
Curse your sudden but inevitable betrayal.
He will not get the +4 bonus because he's not your ally anymore. But he does get a 27 to hit your parry DC.
Ouch. That's going to hit. I have a 22. So I need to roll toughness, right?
Yep, toughness versus a 28.
So that's...
It's a bruise in a daze.
All right. I have to take it. I don't have any points.
Yeah, he stabs you real good in the ribs.
Oof.
And his knightly appearance turns into a wicked sneer. Blah. Words are hard.
He snares me with his sneer?
Yes. Ant-Man, you're up.
Can I get to our M.O.D.O.K and see if I can't set him free?
Yeah, you can shrink down and fly over there.
Okay.
You've got enough movement and with your Antony flight that you can get over there.
I'm kind of sad. I liked chipper, brave M.O.D.O.K.
I liked him too. It's too bad so many words start with B that are brave and betrayal.
Yes. But it wouldn't be the comic books if we didn't have a dramatic, melodramatic thing going on.
Okay, so...
Ant-Man, go ahead and give me a technology check to try and set M.O.D.O.K with a K free. Ant-Man, good job. 25, you are able to take the shield down around M.O.D.O.K with your standard action this round. And since you set him free, he will spring into action after your turn. Which
Okay.
this is the end of your turn, since you did the standard action, did the technology check, and the move action to get over here. So M.O.D.O.K with a K will sort of fly out of the chair, ripping the tubes out of his body as he goes, spilling Mountain Dew green blood everywhere. As he
Yummy.
floats up into the air and he says, "I will show you all why I am the mental organism designed only for killing!" And he's going to try and zap all of the AIM agents. And it's perception range, so he doesn't have to roll to hit. I just wanted to see what the DC was. DC 28.
As we all strangely find ourselves rooting for M.O.D.O.K.
That's a will save for the AIM agents. So first group, second group, third group, fourth group. Yeah, it's a DC 28, so I think that'll destroy the rest of the groups after Moon Knight's onslaught. There might be one AIM agent left. Yeah, there's
Dang.
one left.
M.O.D.O.K, no play.
Yeah, as he floats up into the air and this cascading wave of purple energy descends upon the AIM agents and they scream, holding their hands to the side of their heads and fall down, twitching and spasming. And M.O.D.O.K nods and looks at M.O.D.O.K with a C.
M.O.D.O.K, looks like you got this, man. We'll catch you later.
I told you this was my business. M.O.D.O.K with a C will look at his sea of annihilated minions and say, "It does not matter. I have everything I need to create my army of brothers." And he will zap M.O.D.O.K with a K with a Mind Blast, which will hit M.O.D.O.K with a K. DC 28 will save.
Did you bring the popcorn?
M.O.D.O.K takes a bruise. The last AIM agent is just going to crap his pants and throw down his gun and run away.
Good career move.
I'm gonna go be a Doombot again. That was a better career choice. Drax, you're up.
All right. Drax kind of stands up over the pile of unconscious agents, glares up at M.O.D.O.K and just screams, "Betrayal will not be tolerated," and like just flat out runs at him and goes to just pitchfork him with both blades.
Beautiful.
So stabbing.
He's softer on the inside, Drax.
Yeah, but this one's just regular head size now.
So yeah, gonna Iracorn him with the.
Oh, he's still shrunk, isn't he?
Yeah.
Ooh, and Drax's knives are big.
So that's a 24 will hit. DC 27 on the toughness save for M.O.D.O.K. M.O.D.O.K gets a bruise in a daze. What happens? Drax, did you run up and hurt him pretty bad?
I think, yeah, he comes up and just goes to stab him and pinballs him around some assorted things that are kind of in the immediate vicinity. Maybe a workstation or something. You know, bounces him around a little bit. Maybe slices up his cape or whatever it was that he had when he was being brave.
Now I have a torn cape. Now you know I'm a villain. Or I'm at the end of an Arkham Asylum game. Good attack, Drax. M.O.D.O.K was going to say something quippy, but then you beat the crap out of him, so he's going to keep it to himself. Moon Knight.
I'm in favor of that outcome.
Oh, Moon Knight, you might be on mute.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. So Moon Knight is going to... Moon Knight feels that the M.O.D.O.K and the current situation with the M.O.D.O.K with a C and M.O.D.O.K has been taken care of. And so he is going to come over to beside M.O.D.O.K with a K, just in case things were to go sideways. And we'll chuck Moonrangs at both M.O.D.O.K and M.O.D.O.K with a C.
Awesome. So you'll just click Moonring and you'll get a -2.
Yeah, I was getting there. Sorry.
No worries. So 23 will hit both of them. I'll roll M.O.D.O.K first versus DC 19. He's got a bruise right now. He gets a 21, so he's not hurt. And then M.O.D.O.K with a C is not hurt at the moment.
Now, doesn't the M.O.D.O.K get the -2 from the bruise, though?
Yes, he does. Or it's already factored in.
Ah, okay.
Yep, I've got an injury tab back here. M.O.D.O.K with a C gets a 24. So the Moonrangs both go in, they hit the M.O.D.O.Ks, and they sort of bounce off. M.O.D.O.K blocks it with his little shield, and M.O.D.O.K with the C just no-sells it. Is there anything else you want to do, Moon Knight?
I think that'll be his turn.
Captain America, you've just been stabbed.
Yeah, not happy about it. Drax, take M.O.D.O.K will handle our, and I say it with quotes, friend here. And I will shield bash him.
My face! That's the only part of me you can hit.
What negatives do I get? Because I took a bruise and a what else?
A daze. So no penalties to hit or damage or anything like that. It's just you can only take a move or a standard action.
Okay. I smacked him with a 31.
It's a critical hit, so that's going to give a +5 DC to make it a 28. Oh no. M.O.D.O.K rolls a 19, so he will also take a bruise and a daze. So what happens?
I smack him with the shield, and he flies over and bounces off our M.O.D.O.K, and then kind of wobbles back in front of me.
Awesome. And then your daze drops off at the end of your round, Cap.
I'm saddened by your betrayal, friend.
What a M.O.D.O.K.
You had given me hope that things could be different in other places. Or was that a lie too?
That was a lie too. You're just as boring here as you are there. Although Drax understands metaphors where I come from, so that was a fun, refreshing twist. And M.O.D.O.K will throw his shield at you, Cap.
Nice.
Oh, he rolls a natural 1 though, so that's a miss no matter what. So he checks the shield, it flies off, it clatters to the ground, it does not bounce back to him.
Leave that to the experts, imposter.
There's that spoiled again. Ant-Man.
Are you at all familiar with the Thanos theory?
I am familiar with the Thanos theory.
I've been waiting to try the Thanos theory. I think this is as good a time as any.
Oh no.
But the Thanos theory is the right circumstance you can drop anybody with a snap? I mean, what's the Thanos theory?
It's an Ant-Man specific Thanos theory.
Ah.
Which orifice are you going to try to get into, Ant-Man?
Um,
Things that you never thought you'd get to say as a human.
an ear.
Okay. Oh no.
So is this like how in an alternate timeline, Green Arrow and the Atom beat Darkseid? Is it something like that?
Yeah. It's real bad. It's real gross. Okay, so are you getting into M.O.D.O.K with a C or M.O.D.O.B?
M.O.D.O.B.
Okay. Okay. So we're gonna call this. We're just gonna call this we're gonna do a power attack on your giant-sized unarmed. So basically, you'll roll your unarmed. We'll subtract 5 from your to hit to add 5 to your damage.
Okay.
So if you go to your giant sheet and press unarmed, we'll flavor it that way. Oh no, 22 will hit. DC 32 toughness save for M.O.D.O.B, who, and I will stress again, is just regular human head sized at this point. He's probably not going to remain regular human head sized, if I had to guess. 32, here we go. 10.
Yeah.
What happens?
Everybody's got
M.O.D.O.B?
Scott disappears. And then giant-sized Scott reappears, and everybody gets M.O.D.O.B all over them.
Oh no. Oh no. I can confirm that's the worst thing that's ever happened to M.O.D.O.B. in all the times I've run this game.
See, this is why I love comic books. I looked up the Thanos theory, and the headline I found is Avengers Endgame, why Ant-Man would die in Thanos' butt. It just doesn't get any better.
M.O.D.O.K is shocked. Both M.O.D.O.Ks are shocked. M.O.D.O.K with a K is like, maybe I should try to hire him for AIM.
So wait a minute. So did you erupt M.O.D.O.K with a C? What happened here? Or M.O.D.O.K, you defeated M.O.D.O.B by expanding within him?
Yep.
Yeah, he flew into M.O.D.O.B's ear and then became giant sized from the inside of his head.
We are now a M.O.D.O.K. We are now a Marvel Max comic. Okay, I'm all right.
I'm sorry, but I that's the only reason. Well, that and maybe I could spy on Captain Marvel in the shower. That's the only reason I play Ant-Man.
Scott, what have you done? We do not. We're not killers. Captain America is absolutely like horrified.
Scott Lang is the plastic man of the DC of the Marvel universe.
He's just like, I mean, yeah, Captain America's like just, incredulous and horrified.
M.O.D.O.K doesn't know what to do to follow that up. He's going to fire a laser beam. M.O.D.O.K with a C. He'll hit. DC 28. 13. That'll be a stagger for M.O.D.O.K with a C. I'm stunned. M.O.D.O.K with a C is going to attempt to mind blast everybody in the room. So everybody give me a will save, please. And you're looking for a 28.
Oh. I'm going to spend a hero point and re-roll that, even though I don't really have much of a chance.
I believe in you, Drax. Spend him if you got him. You can't take him home. There's no prize at the end for having the most.
Yep.
Hey, that becomes a 22, though, Drax.
Yeah. Exact same roll.
So Cap will take a bruise. Moon Knight will take a bruise in a daze. Giant Man will take a bruise. Drax will take a bruise in a daze. Oh, and I should roll for regular M.O.D.O.K. Regular M.O.D.O.K will take a bruise in a daze. As M.O.D.O.K with a C kind of holds his hands up, and the whole lab is bathed in this glittering purple light as he seeks into your brains and clenches his little fists, and all of you sort of get piercing headaches and nosebleeds.
That's a nice supervillain moment.
Right? Drax, you're up.
All right, so I only get a move or an attack, correct?
Correct. You are in melee range of M.O.D.O.K with a C, though. So.
All right. Because I noticed I have it on my powers. This healing factor wouldn't come into play here, correct?
Does it say regeneration? Does it have a number beside it?
It says regenerate from damage once every 2 rounds.
Okay, so that damage just happened. If you had damage from the previous round, that would fall off.
Okay.
And it falls off bruises to worse. So your least damaging effect to your most damaging effect.
Okay, so I can't do what I was going to do. So I think Drax just kind of shakes his head and just lunges at M.O.D.O.K with a C with the knives because it's really all he's got because he can't move. So that would be a stabbiness check.
A stabbing check. 21 will hit.
Actually, I should have asked before I did it. I can't spend a hero point to get a move and an attack when I'm dazed, correct?
You can do that. You can use you can spend a hero point to use extra effort to get an additional action in a round. Yes.
Okay. Can we rewind then and I will do that?
Yeah. That's fine.
Okay. So let me do that. And what I want to instead do is I want to move kind of past him, and as I move past, grab a leg and just swing him around into the wall behind us.
Awesome. Ouch.
So unarmed?
So yeah, go ahead and make that an unarmed check.
And then can I also use both power attack and all-out attack at that?
Yeah, you sure can. That would subtract up to 5 from your parry and dodge to add up to 5 damage, basically.
Okay.
Because you're using the all-out attack to offset the accuracy penalty of power attack.
So, yeah, that's what I'll do. I'll do all 5.
Awesome. Oh, you still rolled a 28 to hit, so that's cool. So that'll be a DC 30 type of save for M.O.D.O.K with a C. And he'll roll a 13 and get his second stagger. What happens, Drax, as you take him down?
Drax just kind of gets up, shakes his head, wipes the blood off from under his nose, steps past him, grabs his ankles, and then just kind of in a motion as he keeps moving, just spins and swings him around like a giant club and bashes him into the wall right behind us. And M.O.D.O.K just kind of makes whatever M.O.D.O.K-y sounds he makes and slumps to the floor unconscious.
My glasses! You broke my glasses! Perfect. M.O.D.O.K with a K will look at all of you like, is this a Mexican standoff? What are we doing?
I'm going to assume that you are minding your own business in all of this and let you go, assuming that you help Hank Pym send these other M.O.D.O.Ks back to where they came from.
Obviously. The world isn't big enough for more than one M.O.D.O.K.
For once you're a victim, and there is no crime I am aware of that you have committed.
I committed the crime of minding my business.
Yeah, I mean, in the Marvel world, I'm sure there's like 8 million warrants out for your arrest, but we'll just assume you're a victim this time around.
Moon Knight is looking into these chambers to make sure there isn't any other M.O.D.O.Ks.
Each of these chambers has a M.O.D.O.K in it. Various form, various progression through the birthing process of a M.O.D.O.K. You see a couple of M.O.D.O.K tadpoles, a couple of M.O.D.O.K first getting their first chairs, a bunch of just various sizes and shapes.
Do they have consciousness, or are these just...
It looks like some of them are close enough to finish that they could have been unleashed as extra bad guys if you all hadn't to finish the AIM minion so fast.
Okay, this is too big for us. We're going to have to let S.H.I.E.L.D. sort this out.
Oh, Cap, I love you.
Why is that?
Oh, yeah, we're just going to give S.H.I.E.L.D. an army of M.O.D.O.Ks that they can shape and mold to their own whims.
Who else can we... I mean, we can't just kill them.
No, I mean, that's what Cap would do, but I feel like Nick Fury would be like, we should probably have a couple of M.O.D.O.Ks in case we need one.
Yeah.
Calling Hank up and asking him to show up. He's got work to do.
I mean, we can't send them back to another dimension. If they didn't seem to have any sentience at all, just destroy them.
M.O.D.O.K's like, if you want me to kill him, Cap, I can do that.
No, that's okay. All life, even M.O.D.O.K life, is valuable.
He says, staring daggers at Ant-Man.
Yeah, he's not happy with Ant-Man. If this was a campaign, there would be very interesting repercussions from that.
You got 2 guys that use blades.
What are you talking about? And Moon Knight pulls out one of his moon rings and like very, very pointedly shows you they're blunted on the end.
Huh.
We never intentionally kill, ever.
Where are the sharp ones at, Mark? Or does the other crazy carry those?
As a role-playing maneuver, it was very cool. As an Avengers maneuver, it was, let's just say, against type.
Actually, the Avengers don't have a code against killing. Cap might, but...
Yeah, I understand where you're coming from, but yeah. It's just funny.
What about the Chitauri?
Aliens don't matter.
Now, we're in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, yeah, they'll kill. But in the comic, the regular mainstream Marvel comics, they would not go out of their way to kill.
Yeah, there's one scene in the Avengers movie that cracks me up where Cap just throws a guy off the helicarrier who's just mind controlled by Loki. I'm like, why would Cap just kill that guy?
Yeah, the Marvel Cinematic Universe, they're more like the Ultimates. They're more like soldiers getting the job done.
S.H.I.E.L.D. will come down and deal with the M.O.D.O.K cloning facility underneath Avengers Mansion.
Which that's boggling. It's like, how did that even happen? Lots of stuff to talk about at the next meeting.
Mm-hmm. Tony directed all the sensors up instead of down. That was the problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you all take the various M.O.D.O.Ks who are still alive. M.O.D.O.K with a K, with a Q, with an X. Another Avengers team went and got M.O.D.O.S, the mental organism designed only for smashing, who is a Hulk-sized head on a M.O.D.O.K-sized body.
Is he green?
He is green.
Well, I'm glad we went to the Quest M.O.D.O.K because that was a nice change of pace from just a slugfest. But I do like that idea.
And you all, with Hank Pym's help, send them all home to their various dimensions to go bother those Avengers.
Yes.
And that's all I got. That's the end of the adventure. You all saved the day.
Yeah, that was fun.
That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, very nice.
I haven't laughed so hard at an RPG in a long time.
Yeah, that was fun. It was a great setup. Great setup. Great moments. Good. It felt like a Marvel story. Great. You have a great handle on M.O.D.O.K.
M.O.D.O.K.
His combination of threat and goofiness. So, because he can be quite the threat, but he's just inherently goofy. So you did a good job. And I did not see the sudden but inevitable betrayal coming. I was sold.
He tried so hard.
Yeah,
I might have to rewrite the adventure where M.O.D.O.K doesn't betray everybody, because I do like M.O.D.O.K as the hero helping everybody out.
Yeah, he's so eager. Yeah.
It was really funny. I ran this game for a group that had Peter Parker and Iron Man, and they were playing them like Rick and Morty.
Oh, funny.
So Parker was like, I don't know, Mr. Stark, I think this is a bad idea. And M.O.D.O.K almost one-shot him. He almost killed him in the betrayal moment.
Nice.
Wow.
Spider-Man spent the whole rest of the fight just running from M.O.D.O.K instead of participating. But it kept M.O.D.O.K distracted. He wasn't bothering anybody else because he was like, I can kill Parker.
So would this qualify as one of your, how should we say it, more unusual assemblies of Avengers for this adventure, or not really?
Oh yeah. This is a very unusual team for this outing. I've never had Moon Knight before. I'm glad I built a Moon Knight. I had to go in and fix his truncheon because it's also his grappling hook and stuff. So it would be cool to rebuild Moon Knight.
Moon Knight is one of those characters that I've always sort of really enjoyed him, but when he is Moon Knight, it's hard to play the other personalities.
Mm-hmm.
I would think in maybe a longer running campaign he would play out better with the other personalities, but when he's in the Moon Knight, it is very much he is the servant of
Anshu.
Yeah, and that is what he's doing at this time.
Yeah, my last team that went through here was Captain Marvel, Daredevil, Mantis, and Scarlet Witch. So they still had a loan from the Guardians. So,
I think that Ant-Man is a teensy overpowered.
Well, that giant stuff. Yeah. Yeah, the thing is, a lot of heroes are really super powerful if they don't pull their punches, right? Like, Superman should smush everybody into chunky salsa, but he pulls his punches, kind of thing. So.
And then the funny thing is Giant Man's giant strength is, the DC is the same as Drax's regular attacks, so everybody's balanced to each other. It's fun to have a bunch of utility with Ant-Man because he can do small and big.
Plus, he's got the technological. So,
yeah. Well, I think the thing is, it's really just kind of the, what do you want to say? It's the way Jeff played him as much as anything else. He used abilities in combination, which, maybe it does feel a little, but if you nerf the abilities, then the abilities don't feel appropriately scaled.
Yeah. And Jeff didn't use any of the he has a few ant abilities, like he can use ants to create things, or use ants to, he's got bullet and bites as an affliction that he can drop bullet.
Oh, that was on the way.
I almost suggested having say, hey, Ant-Man, send a bunch of ants in to plug up M.O.D.O.K's ears at the when he was under the sway of the music.
That would have been a great idea, but also made me really uncomfortable.
Yeah. Probably more comfortable than getting exploded from the inside.
Yeah.
Well, for next up, I was going, what are those ants that chew wire?
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, I was
Fire
going to
ants?
summon. I was going to summon a swarm of them and sick them on M.O.D.O.K.
In the for the M.O.D.O.K that gives quests, how have other teams handled those 3 items?
The items usually change depending on which heroes are around.
I gotcha.
The vibranium one I only ever bring out when there's somebody who actually has vibranium handy, like Cap or Black Panther.
What's funny, I didn't even think about the shield. Everybody else did. That didn't even cross my mind. I was thinking, out of character, I was like, all these 3 items are so ridiculous to try to bring together that we have to deceive him or something, or beat him
that's worked
down.
too.
Yeah,
that's worked before.
Because
he can taste for fakes, but he's not very good at it. So
yeah, well, go ahead.
No, I just appreciate the fact that now Doctor Strange has the Eye of Agamotto, and on the back of it, there's a little plus one.
One group saw that people who were lower level had to get less ridiculous things, so they went and they found somebody at Coney Island to go up and ask him for a quest.
Oh, funny.
Because like regular people, he just wanted like a hot dog with chili on it, or a teddy bear from the game at Coney Island.
Oh, well, that's a big hint because you get scanned before you get asked for. Yeah, that's a pretty big hint.
Yeah, I just like him. I also have a M.O.D.O.K who is the mental organisms designed only for puzzles, but I like to do that in person rather than online because I'll put out something that's like, there's 4 differences in between these 2 pictures. What are the differences? And that's what the puzzle were once solved.
Right.
See, we need to run this campaign again, and next time, Shane, you can play M.O.D.O.K, a M.O.D.O.K only, or a mental organism only designed for puns.
I'm okay with that. I can do that.
Well, that's the logical sequel to this adventure is into the M.O.D.O.K verse, where everybody's a different M.O.D.O.K.
I'd read that.
Who's been brought together for some reason to stop, I don't know, Galactus.
Something.
But like the M.O.D.O.K Galactus.
Do X-Men characters go to the Mojo verse? Do the X-Men get Mojo instead of M.O.D.O.K?
I haven't done an X-Men specific version of it, but I do have roll-ups for X-Men. I actually haven't run an X-Men adventure before. I have one based on the movie continuity, but then the movies sort of stopped being great, so I just...
Oh, no, you got it like little X-Men. You need a little X-Men adventure.
X-Babies.
Yeah.
Yeah, I usually do DC. DC is my primary bent, but I like the Avengers, I like the X-Men, I like the Guardians. I love doing Guardians stories. I have a Guardians of the Galaxy The Hangover adventure where they wake up in jail after a night of raucous drinking and have to retrace their steps to prove their innocence.
Nice. Have you ever done a classic Guardians, or do you always do the sort of MCU Guardians?
I usually just do the MCU Guardians. I've thought about doing classic Guardians, and my Mantis build has some elements of comics Mantis, so she's a little less useless than in the movies. Like, she's got the martial arts abilities, and she's got a couple of other things that comic Mantis can do.
Yeah, in the movies, she's basically just like that empath kind of put people to sleep kind of creature character.
Yeah, and I really want to do a Doctor Strange multiverse adventure with a bunch of sorcerers from Marvel, because I think that'd be fun.
Yeah, well, like you could do like Doctor Strange, Doctor Druid. Who else you gonna do?
Scarlet Witch.
Yeah, Scarlet Witch.
Maybe that's been my holdup, is there's not as many sorcerers in Marvel as there are in DC.
Yeah, there are, but they seem to get introduced and then people forget about them. But if you dig through the history, there's a lot of them out there.
Yeah, I'd probably have Loki there too as a PC.
I really enjoy the idea that Moon Knight, as Mark Spector, has the phone number of like every rich person in the Marvel Cinematic Universe on speed dial.
Is that something you came up with, or is that from the comics?
That is something I came up with, but I would imagine him being who he is and how his personality, how that particular personality is.
Right.
That would be something he would have, because I always imagine Mark Spector as being this like Bruce Wayne is understated. Mark Spector is not understated. Mark Spector drives a fancy car and is like wears expensive suits and just flaunts his wealth, whereas like Bruce is like, I have wealth, I don't flaunt it, I go to parties every now and again. Like Mark is like, no, I'm rich.
You need, if you want to laugh, you need to read the Punisher Moon Knight talk. It'll make you laugh out loud. Huh?
How long ago was that? Like what?
Oh, it's old, but if you Google Punisher Moon Knight, it's the only thing that'll come up. It's hilarious.
All right, I'll check it out.
And you would think that nobody would talk to the Punisher that way, but Moon Knight does.
Well, Moon Knight's crazy. I mean,
no, this is beyond crazy.
I'll check it out.
Yeah. Well, I have to say that, for being my first experience with Super's game, I quite enjoyed myself. So
yeah, it was very good. That was very good.
Glad you guys had fun. That makes me happy.
Yeah, and I'm not just. Everyone's always like, "Oh, that was fun, thanks," but no, it was legitimately fun. So, I'm impressed with both your GMing skills and the system.
I'm biased, but I really like Mutants Masterminds. I feel like it gives you the chance to have some of that crunch and a chance to have some of that narrative, and it can match the group that you're playing.
Yeah, it was a good mix of mechanics and narrative. So I was very impressed with the combats. Were not a slog.
I said to Steve after the last session that I would really like to run this or play in this in a longer running setting where you have maybe 4, 5, 6 sessions, because I think it would really play to that really well. I like how it's not strictly moment to moment. It does allow for the narrative, and it does allow for the story to develop, and I really like that in this system.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, I was going to say, just before we get all signed out or anything, any of you that help, be it Shane, Alex, well, Steve and I obviously have the show. Jeff, I don't know if you have anything, but if y'all have anything you want to like plug at the end of things or whatever, wouldn't mind giving you a minute or two to throw that on.
But I think Alex was mentioning a new initiative with Mutants and Masterminds. I forget what it was called. The
Summer of Starhaven is what we've got going on right now. We, for the next few months, will be detailing a preserver ruin on Jupiter's moon Europa that has become a home for aliens displaced from the destruction of the Lore Republic. And anybody who's a member of the M&M Patreon is going to have a lot of chance to interact with this. We're adding 4 new supervillains, and 3 of them are being come up with by me, Steve, and Crystal, but we have room for a 4th one that's going to be created by committee by the Patreon. And we're also allowing the Patreon members to vote on the government of Starhaven. So there's going to be a lot of fun stuff related to that, and then we have a wonderful book being put together that you'll be able to collect and have adventures on Starhaven, or how to run adventures on Starhaven. And the last part of that book will be the adventure I wrote, Siege of Starhaven. So that'll be a perfect adventure to get you started on this moon colony as you're trying to figure out your heroes and stuff. Also, as always, please check out the Untold Stories Project, where I'm the executive producer. We do a live stream every Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. I play Mutants and Masterminds set in the primary setting of Mutants and Masterminds, Earth Prime. We're going through the mega event Nether War right now, and that's 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. Eastern Standard every Monday.
So that I was going to ask you. So Mutants and Masterminds has a default setting, like the Marvel universe or the DC universe or something like that? Okay.
Yeah, it is the Earth Prime universe, or some people call it the Freedomverse, because Freedom City is the primary city of Earth Prime, and you get a lot of good acknowledgments towards characters from Marvel and DC that have their own unique twist put on them due to being in Freedom City. The primary superhero team is the Freedom League, which is led by Daedalus, the immortal tinkerer from Greek mythology. He's sort of like what if Tony Stark was Thor's age.
Oh, nice.
And Cap's wisdom.
Nice. Yeah, that sounds fun. Yeah, the more I learn about Mutants Masterminds, the more I'm getting intrigued by it. It sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah, our live play has 2 canon characters and 4 custom characters. We have Centuria, who is she's kind of like a Supergirl. Her father was Centurion, who was the primary hero of Earth until he was killed in a Darkseid-style invasion, and she's sort of living up to that mantle. And there's Bowman, who is our Green Arrow from the Freedom City universe. and then the 4 custom characters who are all awesome.
Yeah, I knew Mutants Masterminds had a pretty big following, so it's nice to learn more about it.
Yeah, and if you want me to plug one more thing, I am also the author of the Titan City Chronicles, which is my fantasy noir superhero novel series. I have 2 more books coming out this year, hopefully. Knock on wood.
Nice.
Very cool.
On my end, I just, I have a podcast, 2 or 3 episodes a month. Shane Plays Geek Talk. I cover role-playing games, video games, comic books, you name it. If it's geeky, I cover a wide variety of geeky stuff. Video game-wise, I got a big focus on computer RPGs. In fact, I'm a co-author with Matt Barton on Dungeons and Desktops, 2nd edition, complete history of computer role-playing games. So you can find me. Just go to shaneplays.com. It's a blog, post my podcast there. I'm on YouTube. So I just have fun doing geeky stuff, and that leads into meeting new people and doing cool stuff like this. So, a lot of people are like, oh, get a podcast, and with the most fun for me has just been meeting new people and enhancing my Rolodex with stuff like this. So I really appreciate it.
Well, unless anyone has anything else to add, I guess thank you all.
No, I don't have anything to add.
All right, well,
Have
then
ball.
Awesome.
Yeah, thanks for the invite, and thanks for making the time, Alex.
Yeah, of course. Thank you guys so much for playing. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you for running this for us. It was awesome. Really appreciate it.
If you all come to Origins, I run lots of events.
Yeah, that's mind-boggling to me how many games you run during one con.
Yeah, it's like 12 to 16-hour days.
I think that you've been enlisting the help of the M.O.D.O.K with a C, only for cloning.
Oh, that'd be so nice. I need a clone. I need a couple of clones. I got a lot to work on. Although I don't know if I want to listen to myself breaking down what happened in the game from Monday night before I have to write the next game for the clone to run again.
All right, folks, there you have it. That's the conclusion of Mutants and Masterminds, M.O.D.O.K Family Reunion. I'd like to take a moment to say a big thank you to Alex for coming and running this for 4 complete noobs to the system. And most of us had limited at best experience with Roll20, so he helped us a lot with that as well. And quite frankly, I had a blast. I wish I'd known comics and et cetera better to maybe take a character that was a little less of a meathead, but I still had an absolute blast playing Drax. Everybody had a blast. And big thank you to Alex, big thank you to Shane, big thank you to Jeff, of course, other Steve as well. And if you have any questions, feel free to contact us either via email, Twitter, Discord, Facebook. The links and all that for all those things are in the show notes. And with that, be kind to each other and go play some RPGs.
Intro and outro music by the band 12 Noon. You can email us at meandsteverpg@gmail.com. You can also find us at facebook.com/meandsteverpg. Thank you, and be kind to each other.
How much for the cigar?
Cigar, $20, dog. You gotta go down the street to the store and buy that.